Alrighty. So I thought we would do a pick-a-pile reading today. And the piles will be determined by these two random books I've chosen from my room. Pile 1 will be Creating Your Permaculture Heaven by Nydia Needham, whatever that means to you, Group 1. And Group 2 might identify with the Structural-Anarchism Manifesto by Michel Luc Bellemare. So, Pile 1, Permaculture. Pile 2, Anarchy. And we'll begin with Pile 1. Let's see. The soil in most forests is full of mycelia, long stringy fungus roots which help move nutrients and water around under the ground. That's a random thing. I don't know what it means to you, if there are any signs in there. We'll come back to it and read it after and see if it meant anything cryptic that we can decode. Okay, so group number 1. I'm going to be using this Osho Zen Tarot, the Transcendental Game of Zen Tarot, Pocket Edition. So, I'm going to ask the cards generally for Group 1, who are you, and what is a message that might be useful to you at this time? So, according to the spirits running through the Osho Zen Tarot deck today, who are you? Whoa. I saw you. A number of things came out. Okay. Alrighty. According to Osho Zen Tarot Group 2, you are being described as the Knight of Swords, or the word fighting. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Beyond Illusion, which is the Judgment Major Arcana card in traditional tarot. So, you might identify with this description of yourself. Otherwise, this is how Spirit sees you and how Spirit wants you to begin seeing yourself, if you don't already. Who you are is a lover, not a fighter. But who you've been in this life is a fighter, and a fantastic one, only because you needed to and you rose to the challenge and you nailed it. You stepped way out of character and embraced something different. You are a lover, not a fighter, but when it was time to fight, you found a way. You rose to the challenge extraordinarily. And it's because you are a lover that it is you are such a fantastic fighter. If that makes any sense, it's because in everything you do and in every single fight, your mission and purpose is love, your intention is love. So who you are is a lover, not a fighter. Because even any time you assumed a fighting role in your life, the intention was love underneath it, and that's why you ever succeeded. Sometimes the line is blurred for you. Sometimes you are confused as to what end of the spectrum you lie on between peace and war. Lover versus fighter. But you are at a point in your life now where you have evolved and you're hoping to evolve further, but in a different way than ever before, as in you're looking to build or create something, a vision that you have in your mind, something worth fighting for, something worth living for, something worth dying for, something you love. Already exists inside your mind. It's time to bring it out. That's the mission right now, as you see it, as you feel it. Spirit sees this in you. Who you are is somebody who's been through many storms, but maintained the temperament of somebody who was on a paradise vacation somehow. And because you were able to do that and maintain that kind of energetic setting, despite the grim circumstances of your physical setting, well, that is the ultimate key, that is the ultimate gift, because if you can do that, then you can create that out in your reality, no problem, ever again. The only thing that ever blocks your reality from being beautiful from this point moving forward is a fog or a haze or a cloud inside your mind. Something about the storm has passed, but it still feels very cloudy. But it's not the weather, it's like smog. It's not natural, it's like a fallacy, or like a straight up lie in your way, clouding your vision. Some kind of an untruth or a falsity that is still there, that is getting in the way of you being able to adequately plant and grow in your garden, whatever it is that's in your mind. That's the main message for you. So who you are is the Knight of Swords. You may identify as a Libra, otherwise a Gemini or Aquarius. Otherwise, this is just the energy that you carry, that Spirit wants you to see at this time. Who you are is a powerful gust of wind, as well as the faintest, most poetic breeze, all at the same moment in time. This one beautiful, booming moment in time. And this is how you express yourself in each moment as you move through time. Who you are is a lover and a fighter, and you do everything with love, and that's what makes you so victorious all the time in the end. Where you are right now is taking everything that is in your mind and creating it out in reality. The only thing standing in your way is something that is left over, a residual, a lie that was told to you, or that a false belief that you clung to. There's some kind of smog that is still there, like a barrier between your vision and its way to reality in your garden right now as you're gardening. It's a lot of smog. So let's see a little bit deeper what the more specific message there is for you. Inner voice. And that's the High Priestess of this deck. Inner voice and the Creator. And he's the King of Wands in this deck. Yep. You have a strong inner voice and strong inner guidance. You are a creator. It's what you do. It's how you've always been. your being, and the universe itself expresses itself through you and your being through the act of creating. That's why you have such like a strong channel to spirit with that air, which reminds me of telepathy, and that high priestess or inner voice, which reminds me of like claircognizance. The message to you is that your inner voice is very strong and powerful. Everything that you see within you is real. Keep building, keep doing what you're doing, and keep fighting. And when you have no more to give, when you have no fight left in you, then do what you do best. Keep loving. And when you have no more love to give and there's no love left in you, then go ahead and go back. Keep fighting. You can alternate between these two things, because at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, no matter role you're assuming, in whatever mode or zone you are in, you are somebody who's always channeling love in everything that you do. And that's the message. Keep doing that. There's so much fight in you, and it's for a reason. You are here to create something, despite what all you've already created. You have a strong inner vision, and there is a certain cloudiness or a fog, a mystery, or a smog around you at this time. And it is a false belief you are clinging to, and or a lie that was told to you. King of Swords. Control. Control what? Okay. Control. Two of Cups. Friendliness. Three of Wands. Experiencing. Six of Cups, the dream. And the Ace of Pentacles, or the Ace of Rainbows in this deck. Maturity. Breakthrough. Letting go. It seems like a little bit of like a part of your mind is still being controlled or under certain mind control of something from the past. A relationship that meant very much to you, one that you did let go of, but something about the role that you assumed in that relationship, or something about what you believed or were told as a member in that relationship was a fallacy, a lie. And though you've moved past it and let it go, there's something about that lie, whether that was about you or about what happened. It seems like it was a lie that ultimately had an effect on you and the way that you saw yourself, whether as somebody who was too weak, not a fighter, or too much of a fighter, aggressive. It tainted your view of yourself in a way and made you see yourself as imbalanced, when in fact you weren't really. And at this point moving forward, you sure as hell are not, because that was a while ago. Letting go. Eight of Cups. Five of Swords. So there's a false notion or a false belief that you're clinging to that is bringing down your own view of yourself. It was a form of mind control that you were under when you were in another relationship, whether romantic or friendship or family. It could have even been just a past relationship between you and yourself, and there was a lot of self-criticism or something. There was mind control. You were under an energy of seeing yourself as less than you are. That is the only thing right now that you need to be aware of. It is a fallacy. That's the smog. Whatever it is that you are is a lover and a fighter in the most perfect, unique measure. Don't forget that. Moving forward, sure, there's going to be some confusion or darkness, but you are the creator and you have everything you need to move through this. So what were we talking about here in our permaculture lesson today? Mycelial layer. We said, the soil in most forests is full of mycelia, long, stringy fungus roots which help move nutrients and water around under the ground. At the core root of things, a lot of movement has been taking place deep, deep within you, inside of you. You feel it as it rises to the surface. Such minute little changes from your perspective, but what's going on that scale is monumental, great change. Paradigm shift within. A phase of healing, psychic healing, and even receiving help from spirit, energy, ancestors, spirit guide, whatever, something outside of this dimension in a way. Because we're talking about fungus, and we're talking about mushrooms. And we all know mushrooms are aliens. Okay, so I hope that was helpful or shed light on anything. That was really cool and very fun for me. So thank you. And now I'm going to move on to group 2. Alrighty. So group 2, we chose the Structural-Anarchism Manifesto with this ring of dust around the border because I hadn't finished reading it and I left it alone in the background for a while. Let's see what we have here. In effect, the logic of structural anarchism is able to incorporate higher levels of the insatiable drive for ownership/knowledge than the logic of capitalism because it is polyrational instead of unirational. Thus, ultimately, it is able to spread ownership/knowledge among every portion of the workforce/population by enlarging the definition of what constitutes productivity, communal ownership, and capital. Fuck yeah. What are we about to read about? What a beautiful message. Does this resonate? Does this mean anything to you? Is it symbolic of what you're going through, or is it a literal belief that you really hold true to? Group 2, Structural Anarchism Manifesto. What's going on here? We're going to ask 2 questions. Who are you, according to Spirit, and what is the message Spirit wants to share with you at this time? So, Group 2, Structural Anarchism Manifesto, according to the spirits that run through this Osho's and Tarot deck over here. Who are you? Who is it that you are? Group 2, who are you? Who is it that you are? You are the Ace of Pentacles, or the Ace of Rainbows. Maturity. More rainbows on the bottom of the deck here with the King of Pentacles, or abundance. He's got such a a groovy vibe. Okay. Hold up. Okay, sorry. Okay, so according to the Osho's and Tarot, okay, so you are somebody with a mind like an endless field. It's always flowering, always flowering. There's always new. And this is somebody who you may identify as this, but if you don't, then this is what Spirit wants you to start seeing in yourself. This is how Spirit sees you. An ever-flowering mind, like a vast, endless field. Who you are is like all the colors of the rainbow and everything in between. You take such good care of yourself, your body, and your mind especially, which is what makes you such a fantastic, magical manifester, because your mind and your body, your air and your earth, are so pure. And you work really hard on self-love and self-care. And you renew your visions and your clarity all the time, and you update your belief system, and you check in on your value system and your principles all the time through life. See how they've changed, let them change and be moved. Like a very creative and artistic person, but also a lot like a very old soul. Somebody who was born knowing that they were here to learn, play, and grow. Somebody who was here knowing that nothing is permanent. And in knowing that, it is the most stable we can hope to be in this life. Nothing can rock the boat as long as you know everything is fleeting. This is something you were born knowing. It's almost as if you came here with a very conscious mission in this lifetime. Actually, who you are is somebody who has been here a few times. It must be. Otherwise, you came from some other dimension, and you were brought here simply just to elevate this one with the knowledge that you carry from that one. But because it's such earthy energy, I feel very much like this is not your first rodeo. You've been through many different life cycles here on this very planet, and you know a lot. And you have a lot of peace with what you know and acceptance, and you have a lot of peace with what more you know and what challenges what your preconceived ideas were. This is who you are. That's very incredible. You create a lot of beautiful change. Kind of like what you touch and what you love and what you breathe and what you look upon turns to gold. It breathes life into any and everything, human, non-human alike. Wow, how beautiful. This is who you are. This is what Spirit sees when they see you. And you know what's funny? We have all the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, and I just realized that this looks like a pentacle. The Anarchy symbol looks a lot like a pentacle. Dang. So, you might be an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Otherwise, we are being called to look at this thread of earthy energies that you carry, whether or not you are aware of them. So what is the message for you? That's who you are, and now what's your message? What does Spirit want to say to you? Nothingness. Or rather, no-thingness. It's different. And that's the Hierophant in this deck. Wait a minute. It's easy to lose them. Okay. The Eight of Wands. Traveling. Oh. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Cups with healing. Healing, awareness, the Lovers, the Fool. The message for you, it seems, is the way that you move through life is so original, and you are an independent thinker, and you pave your own way in everything that you do. You very much are like a self-governing unit. You very much are your own self-sustaining system. You're the kind of person who the government is interrupting your life and your peace, and they're making it harder and more dangerous of a world for you to have to live in. You're this kind of a person. Incredible. You might be a conspiracy theorist, because we go from black to fire, and black to action, nothingness to traveling. So it makes me feel like you have a capacity of falling down the rabbit hole, and you are really into conspiracy theories. And it's not because it's like a sensationalist thing and it's like a hobby and you love to eat your popcorn, although that may be a thing too, sure. But there's something about conspiracy theories, and a lot of them, that hold true for you, especially because a lot of them are things that you yourself observed before you ever heard of such a conspiracy. You made these observations and analyses and evaluations of your own reality and the system that we live in. So when you stumbled upon conspiracy theories naming these things back to you, that's how you knew. Like, your greatest source is yourself. You don't just imbibe a bunch of videos or do a bunch of research and just let it like completely take over and brainwash you. Like, your greatest source is yourself. You are the ultimate fact checker. You can watch a bunch of perhaps conspiracy theory videos and you'll be able to say which ones are bullshit and then which ones actually hold a lot of weight, or which ones you've noticed and can prove on your own. Like, you have a very strong independent mind and a very sharp view of reality, and because your mind is ever blossoming and always learning and always ready to learn more and always renewing itself and what it knows and creates, it's like you have the capacity to see so much in society, especially the mainstream society, especially the patterns and the triggers and the way the people react to them. This is who you are. So in a lot of ways, the message to you is keep doing what you're doing. You are a renegade. Keep moving forward on the path that you're moving forward. You are paving a new way. Keep making the observations and sharing them with the world. Keep going down into the rabbit hole whenever you feel called, and keep bursting out like fireworks and sharing what it is that you learned with the rest of the world, opening people's eyes up the way you were meant to. Seems like that's what you were here to do. Like, that's the journey you signed up for coming here, and you came in with all of the tools, especially like intellectually. So the message for you is keep doing what you do. You are like a spreader of so much valuable knowledge, information, and truth. You teach people how to make connections and see for themselves. You're somebody who's here to, in such a way, like dismantle perhaps the government. Maybe you're that extreme, and if so, hell yes. But maybe it's not even that intense with you. You're just somebody who wants to dismantle any kind of a system that is flawed, any kind of a system of oppression or disorder or chaos. You're here to teach people that in a lot of ways control is what creates the chaos. The message for you is we see you keep doing this. You are an incredible thing to spectate, even from up here. The message for you, group number 2, is incredible. What it is that you are manifesting in your reality straight from your mind is incredible. You're paving a new path and like creating a bridge to a whole new way of being, elevating the world and humanity, changing the definition for what currency is, teaching people how to take care of themselves. Beautiful. So what did we say here? We said, in effect, the logic of structural anarchism is able to incorporate higher levels of the insatiable drive for ownership knowledge than the logic of capitalism, because it is polyrational instead of unirational. Thus, ultimately, it is able to spread ownership knowledge among every portion of the workforce population by enlarging the definition of what constitutes productivity, communal ownership, and capital. You have a vision and a dream, and I don't know if it's this literal and this is how you've been seeing it or working for or managing your own life according to this manual, but you have a vision of what it means to be independent, free, and liberated, each individual for themselves and also humanity as one. You have a way of taking care of yourself and other people and teaching people, raising people how to take care of themselves, so that more and more the effect that you create in this world is that each and every person will be self-sustaining. And this reminds me a lot of pile 1 as well. Maybe you chose pile 1 and 2 and you're the same person, because pile 1 is a lot like, and I didn't really realize it when I chose them, I just chose the first 2 books that were stacked on my thing here, but pile 1 is definitely all about anarchy as well. Because when we talk about anarchy, we're talking about self-governance, right? So maybe pile one also, like, you came from there, and if you did, then I get it. You're building a new path and self-sustaining, and it's beautiful. It seems like both groups are doing this today to find the peace within and create it outward and share it. Incredible. Okay, so I think that'll do. Thank you.